Well, hey there, Texas. I'm meteorologist Cassie Hyder. We are talking about all the conditions across the entire state of Texas, but I'm going to start with North Texas, and then we're going to take it on from there across the entire state. So don't worry, we're going to get to your section, but across North Texas this evening, it's obviously pretty cold. Now, we've had lots of sunshine today, so we actually did some melting. We're going to continue to do that as the days go on, but we still have our weather alert day through tomorrow morning because we will still be seeing those widespread snowy packed roads, still some icy roads in some spots, and we could still see those wind chills in the single digits, especially late tonight and into tomorrow morning. So what you need to do is make sure that you stay updated with the latest forecast and road conditions. And of course, always remember the 4 Ps. We're talking about people, pets, pipes, and plants. So the extreme cold warning does go for North Texas, but it actually encompasses much of Texas and even parts of the nation off to the east and southeast. Believe it or not, the Florida Panhandle still has the extreme cold warning. Now, when we're talking about the record cold temperatures over the next couple of days, now today's highs, we actually made it into the upper 20s. The record was 30, but tomorrow morning, I'm actually forecasting a low of 14 degrees, and the record cold low then is going to be 12 from back in 1963. I think that we actually stay above that. As far as any more precipitation, I don't have that in the forecast for the rest of the week. But overnight tonight, I think skies stay mostly clear. As we go throughout the day on Tuesday, we're going to see a little bit more cloud cover. So we're calling it partly cloudy. Nonetheless, by tomorrow afternoon, temperatures will make it into the upper 30s. So well above freezing, well enough that we're going to do quite a bit of melting on your Tuesday. By the time we get into Wednesday morning, we're going to have a little bit more cloud cover, but as we go throughout Wednesday afternoon, a lot of that cloud cover will start to break apart, move off to the east, so we will be seeing a little bit more sunshine come Wednesday afternoon, and temperatures will be just that much warmer. So we're going to be doing that much more melting. It is coming. Now, tonight, temperatures drop down into the low to mid-teens, so it's still going to be plenty cold by tomorrow morning. Now, wind chills will not be as terrible because the wind is going to be light, so wind chills will be in the upper single digits and lower teens this time around. But tomorrow afternoon, temperatures climb back into the upper 30s and low 40s. So this is going to make a world of difference. But by the time it's all said and done, by the time we actually hit just above freezing sometime tomorrow around midday, we should be spending nearly 80 hours at or below freezing. So it's been a while, but at least it's almost coming to an end. Now, we're still going to keep temperatures in the upper 30s tomorrow, but about midweek, temperatures will finally make it back into the upper 40s. Tonight, though, we're looking at mostly clear skies. Temperatures drop down into the teens. Tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy, temperatures in the upper 30s. And then looking at that 14-day forecast, it does get cold again, at least a little bit for the weekend. The second half of the 14-day looks dry and warmer.
Happy Monday. I'm meteorologist Casey Sherman for KView in Austin, Texas, giving you your central Texas forecast. Of course, we were just tracking that winter storm that brought us accumulating ice and accumulating sleet across the area. We had some pretty impressive freezing rain totals, especially up towards Williamson County, Cedar Park, picking up a half an inch of ice accretion. Giddings up to a quarter of an inch of ice accretion. Bastrop just over a tenth of an inch. Camp Swift a couple tenths of an inch of ice accretion, and San Mark is about 0.05 of an inch. What we saw more of, and thankfully good news for power lines, was sleet. Wells Branch and Travis County picking up nearly 2 inches of sleet. Hutto also 1.5 inches. Round Rock picking up just over 1 inch of sleet. The sleet, again, it helps us out when it comes to power lines because sleet doesn't stick to power lines like freezing rain does. If we did happen to see the liquid equivalent, which is what this ice accumulation and sleet accumulation combine to, 0.62 inches at Camp Mabry, that would be equivalent to essentially what we had with that ice storm back in 2023, where we saw a whole lot more in terms of power outages and some rougher road conditions too. Of course, we have been dealing with some slick roadways and hazardous travel, which we'll have to watch out for again tonight. We saw lows drop to 18 degrees in Austin overnight, breaking a 122-year record. Last record set back in 1904 of 20 degrees. So this cold, it means business, and the National Weather Service, this is a change, has extended our extreme cold warning through 9 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to be tracking extremely cold conditions still. I don't think wind chills are going to be quite as bad, but still we're talking about widespread single digits in teens across the area. High pressure building as we continue to track this air settling in across the area today. Lots of sunshine though. High pressure brings us that sinking motion of air, clears out the sky. We've got that bright blue sky with us and sunshine all throughout the day, which should lead to and contribute to a decent amount of melting as these temperatures warm just to above the freezing mark by this afternoon. Freezing conditions as we head into tonight again with that hard freeze. That's going to be the last hard freeze we have out of the week before we start to see things gradually warm as we head into the next several days here. 19 degrees tonight. Actually, another record will be in jeopardy for tomorrow morning. And then we climb. We're going to be above the freezing mark by Friday morning for us. Tonight, though, still want to take those extra precautions when it comes to the cold. We'll continue to watch that clear sky throughout the day. Winds out of the north will continue to bring us still that chilly air back into the area. Tomorrow, winds shift more around to the south with a couple passing high clouds, partly cloudy but still dry for your Tuesday. 35 degrees today. Most, if not all of us, I do expect to just barely get above freezing, but I think a lot of us should get there today, which again should contribute to a good amount of melting with that sunshine. However, because we are going to be back to freezing tonight, any of the moisture that doesn't happen to evaporate today is going to refreeze tonight. So I still think tomorrow we could have some problem spots, some trouble spots on the roadways, especially for those harder hit areas when it comes to the ice and the sleet. It's going to be cold, nevertheless, all across the board. And yes, you do need to drip your faucets again tonight as we're going to be looking at those temperatures dropping below that threshold of 20 degrees. So one more night of dripping the faucets with those pipes. Upper 40s, though, that should take care of the remainder of the ice by tomorrow. It should be melted across the areas. A lot of us get close to 50 degrees. Wednesday, we're back to 51 degrees, and we've got a warming trend that continues through Thursday. We're actually going to be closer to 60 degrees. I've got a little front that will be moving through for Thursday night. Models not indicating any moisture with this, so we're not going to be looking at certainly any freezing rain or sleet. Unfortunately, no need of beneficial rain with it either. It will be a dry front bringing us breezy conditions on Friday. Temperatures cool behind it. We're going to be looking at kind of a cold start to the weekend ahead. We're talking about mostly sunny sky on Saturday, but highs that are only set to top off near about 46 degrees in the lower 50s. Below average temperatures continue through Sunday.
Hi, everyone. I'm meteorologist Pat Calvin here in Houston, Texas with KHOU 11 News. And we are talking about cold weather continuing not just for tonight and into tomorrow, but potentially more rounds as we get into the beginning of February. Let's talk about tonight first, though. Extreme cold warning remains in effect for the entire area in the dark blue. Again, we could see dangerous feels-like temperatures in the teens, maybe even single digits. The wind should start to back off tonight, though, but actual air temperatures will again be in the teens and 20s. This warning remains in effect through noon on Tuesday. And like I said, it's not just us. This extreme cold warning goes from Texas all the way through the northern Gulf Coast, through the mid-Mississippi Valley, into the Great Lakes. And then even beyond that, winter storm warnings remain in effect through parts of New England. So this cold weather really having a tight grip on a good part of the country. I will say, though, the wind should start to back off tonight. That's a double-edged sword. Less wind makes it feel not as harsh. However, with clear skies and less wind, temperatures may actually drop to lower levels than we got to this morning. So keep that in mind. Tuesday morning could actually be the coldest night that we see this week. For Tuesday itself, though, it's mainly sunny. It's not as harsh, again, with less wind. And with high pressure to the east, we finally start to warm things up. I think 40s and 50s are back in the cards for us Tuesday. That'll continue for Wednesday as well. Still a cold start, but not as harsh. And I don't think we see a deep freeze across the area. I think tonight will be the only night that we see the hard freeze, with temperatures again down into the upper teens and low 20s. For Tuesday night, we're down to 30. And then for Wednesday night, only to the freezing mark. So again, a little bit of a moderation here getting into the middle part of the week. Still cold, but not the dangerous pipe bursting cold that we've seen the last 2 nights. So check it out here on Future Track as we get you through the overnight. Temperatures will drop again, teens and low 20s across the area. I think mid 20s at least for the city. And I do think the model is going a little warm here. I think we could be even colder than this. For Tuesday afternoon, though, we do rebound. Look at that, 40s to about 50 degrees across the area. Northern parts may stay in the upper 30s. But all in all, everyone will make it above freezing. And again, most of us into the 40s by the time we get to the afternoon. Now, the wind will start to back off. So once we get into the overnight, notice the feels-like temperatures not really that far off from where the actual air temperatures will be. And then again, by the afternoon tomorrow, feeling like the 50s, especially once you get into the sunshine. So looking ahead into February, like I mentioned at the very top of this, I do think we stay colder than normal across the eastern half of the U.S. as round after round of cold weather comes into the area. And there is a chance with this next shot of cold air by the weekend that we could see some wintry weather again across parts of the south. Notice Friday morning, snow showers showing up through parts of northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas. I do think we'll stay dry for the time being here, but temperatures will fall pretty fast. By next Saturday morning, we could see lows down into the mid-20s again. So the cold weather not going anywhere. That's a look at things here in Houston. Here's how things are shaping up in San Antonio.
The moisture is out, but the cold air remains. I'm Bill Taylor in San Antonio, where we've got this extreme cold warning through Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. A freeze warning for communities like Cotulla, Tilden, Beeville, and south to the Texas coast. It seems as though Old Man Winter's grip just won't loosen just yet. Right now, through Tuesday morning, our weather impact alert is going to be on wind chill factors. They're going to be in the single digits Tuesday morning. Hill country, we still have some icy bridges. Please use extreme caution. What you need to be doing is keeping the 4 Ps in mind and caution on any hill country roads. Download the KENS 5 app. Download the KENS 5 Plus app to your television. Don't forget that this is very dry air. So that's one of the factors as we go down to some very cold mornings that our dew points are in the 20s and maybe the mid 30s as we get into Wednesday. This will help temperatures because if the air can moisten up just a bit, we won't see brutal temperatures like these that are waiting for us on Tuesday morning. As cold as 17 Timberwood Park, 13 at Bernie, 12 at Bandera. These are actual readings, not wind chill factors. 17 at New Braunfels, 20 in Seguin. Should be 19 here in the city, and we'll see a couple of 20s on the map. But boy, not very many, maybe 21 at Lackland. A nice recovery on Tuesday afternoon. In fact, that'll be the first day that the Texas Hill Country gets out of the freezing temperatures up into the low 40s, Kerrville as well as Fredericksburg. We get up to 51. Another light freeze coming in on Wednesday morning. Here's what you can expect in East Texas.
I'm Brett Anthony and Tyler looking back over our storm. We're playing back our water vapor imagery over the last 48 hours. And when we start this Saturday morning, you're going to see round 1 come through here. And then the main show showed up Saturday night with heavy sleet and freezing rain. And then the little kicker came in Sunday night and brought a few more snow showers. And then some drying air into the region with lots of sunshine Monday afternoon. But high, thin cirrus clouds are returning for Monday night and during the day Tuesday. We were forecasting a 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain around East Texas. Southern Rusk County near Mount Enterprise picked up a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain. Lots of power outages there. Lots of tree damage also reported. Near the city of Center in Shelby County, a 1/2 inch of freezing rain reported. Henderson in Rusk County, 3/10 of an inch of freezing rain. And Chapel Hill east of Tyler in Smith County, a 1/4 inch of freezing rain. And over in Harrison County near Marshall, a 1/4 inch of freezing rain. Our extreme cold warning goes until Tuesday at noon here in East Texas, and it covers the impact of the very cold air that will be in place. In fact, we could see overnight lows challenging some record lows tonight. That's our big impact. Avoid driving overnight tonight in East Texas. Anything that melted today freezes solid again. We certainly want to be sheltered, staying warm, and keeping our pets and our people also warm. Overnight lows tonight, 17 in Jefferson and Longview, 19 in Tyler, 20 at Lufkin, could be as cold as 13 at Crockett. Jacksonville could drop to 24, San Augustine down to 24 degrees. And that low of 20 in Lufkin could challenge the record low of 20 degrees set back in 1940. Tyler and Longview will also be close. It is certainly a night for the 4 Ps. People, pets, pipes, and plants. It's another night where outdoor pipes certainly need to be wrapped, and even indoor pipes, leaving those faucets dripping so that that water continues to run. Future skycast by tomorrow morning, high pressure all the way down over the Sabine River Basin, lower Sabine River, and that area there will keep everything clear and cold overnight, and then we'll have clouds streaming in here during the day Tuesday. By Wednesday morning, we're back to clear skies again. Could see some refreezing of whatever's left that doesn't melt tomorrow as we climb above freezing. And then Thursday, here's a little shot of cold air coming in. We'll miss out on the precipitation, but we won't miss out on the cold. Saturday, temperatures are going to drop into the 30s for highs. Here's your Baylor Scott White Texas Spine and Joint Hospital 7-day forecast. Weather impact alert for Tuesday, 19 in the morning up to 44 in the afternoon under a mostly cloudy sky. So we should see substantial ice and snow melt on Tuesday. Then 24 Wednesday morning, so anything that is left over will refreeze again. Wednesday up to 48, 56 Thursday. Then Friday, that front swinging through here, dropping getting us to 43 by Friday afternoon. We're dropping to 23 Saturday morning and just 33 Saturday afternoon, and then 43 Sunday, 55 by Monday. That's a look at what's happening here in East Texas. Here's what's happening right now in Waco and Temple.
I'm KCE and Chief Meteorologist Matt Farrell. Here's where things currently stand in Central Texas. Our weather impact alert does continue through Tuesday morning. We're going to talk about those road conditions. We're also going to talk about another very cold night. Those are the impacts that we still have remaining as we continue to get through the end of this winter storm. Again, those road issues, we're going to talk about those here in just a second because a little bit of an interesting setup here. But for right now, do want to talk about your need. Continue to wear the layers. Again, hats, gloves, scarves, the whole thing if you're heading out on your Tuesday morning, because it is going to be very, very cold by the time you wake up on Tuesday morning. Remember the 4 Ps again: pets, pipes, plants, and people. We keep reiterating that. Still very important as we get through a couple more nights here of very, very cold temperatures. And again, limit that travel. Again, roads are an interesting story. I'm going to show you a look from our Temple Tower cam. This was from about 3 o'clock on Monday afternoon. What do you notice? You take a look at this bridge here. You can see there's been a lot of melt, a lot of slush on the bridges, and a little bit better traction out there for the afternoon hours. As temperatures kind of got to their peak heating, yeah, we saw some of the ice sort of melting away. Here's the issue. As we get into Monday night and especially Tuesday morning, we are still under an extreme cold warning, meaning it's going to get very cold again. So anything that melted during the day Monday is simply going to refreeze once we see the sun go down and get into the overnight hours Monday night into Tuesday. So because of that, travel is still not recommended. As a matter of fact, by Tuesday morning, could be a little bit worse. And the reason for that is that as that water refreezes, it's going to create that smooth, icy surface that we talk about. It's not going to be the nice textured sleet that we had before. So again, we're going to have even more issues potentially as we head towards Tuesday morning. Here's temperature outlook. Monday afternoon, we were in the 30s for the overnight hours, falling back into those teens and 20s. That is plenty cold enough, again, to refreeze any water that is on the roadways. And of course, without seeing 100% melting Monday afternoon, yeah, we're still going to be having those road issues on Tuesday morning. Do want to show you this as we get to Tuesday morning. Again, teens and 20s, but by the time we get to about the noon hour, notice here, temperatures are getting back into those middle and upper 30s, closer to 40 degrees. That is definitely going to help with the melting. And by the time we get through Tuesday afternoon, we're going to see a lot of those road conditions improve. Now, if there is any water left standing on area roadways, it's still going to be cold enough by Wednesday morning that could refreeze, but it is not going to be the same situation that we've seen throughout the duration of this event. Want to talk about how cold it's going to feel as you walk out the door on Tuesday morning. We're going to feel like we're in that kind of 10 to 15 degree range. Even though temperature should be in the 15 to 20 range, it's going to feel about 5 or 6 degrees cooler because of the wind chill factor. So keep that in mind. By Wednesday morning, we're still chilly. We're at 21, but we get up to 45. Out of the freezer, into the refrigerator, as I've been saying throughout the course of the weekend here. Again, still chilly, below freezing Thursday morning, but close to 50 degrees. Another system comes in Friday to Saturday. Right now, rain chances looking very slim, but it will be plenty cold enough as we head into Saturday morning that we could potentially see another icy situation. We'll keep you updated on that. But for now, let's see where things stand down in Beaumont.
I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber in Beaumont, Texas. We're looking at temperatures for this afternoon, climbing up out of the freezing temperatures into the lower 40s here around the Triangle and up towards the lakes area. We're going to be seeing temperatures in the middle to upper 30s as we head towards later on this afternoon. Finally, the sunshine returns today. We'll see it's mostly clear skies as we head towards this evening into the overnight, and that should allow temperatures once again to drop below the freezing mark. We'll see another hard freeze coming up as we head into, it looks like, Tuesday morning. This evening, though, temperatures should stay above freezing through the early evening, but by late in the evening, we'll see these numbers just starting to drop just below the freezing mark at 10 o'clock, and then overnight, they'll continue to drop off. We're expecting lows, I'm thinking lower than we're showing here by 7 a.m. We're looking at lows maybe down towards the middle to lower 20s for Tuesday morning, maybe even a few teens up towards the northern end of the lakes area. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures climb out of the 30s once again, and we'll be up into the 40s for the entire area as we head towards, looks like Tuesday afternoon. And we'll continue to see afternoons get a little bit warmer. Mornings are going to continue to stay fairly cold. We'll see a 3 or 4 mornings here as we drop just below the freezing mark. As we take a look at our weather impact alert for tonight going into Tuesday morning, there will be another hard freeze as we're expecting those numbers down into the 20s, maybe a few upper teens. So definitely want to maybe drip those faucets later on tonight into the morning hours on Tuesday. And also what you need is those winter coats, winter hats, gloves as we start out the door on Tuesday morning. It's going to be very cold out there once again as that Arctic air still is in place. As we look at the forecast for today here in Beaumont, we're looking for temperatures right around 40 as you head up towards places like Jasper, Burkeville, Newton. We're looking at numbers into the middle to upper 30s for today. At least we'll be above freezing, and whatever ice we still have left up there in the lakes area, that should be long gone as we get towards the late afternoon as the sunshine breaks out across the area. Heading into tonight, weather impact alert puts us down into the 20s and teens. These numbers might be just a little bit low for the area for tonight, but right now we'll keep with these until we get an updated forecast a little bit later on today. Hard freeze is in place, that's for sure tonight. We will be well below the freezing mark, so you'll need to maybe drip and just bundle up if you have to be out late tonight, maybe heading to work through an overnight shift or something like that. It's definitely going to be very cold here in southeast Texas. 7-day forecast, we'll see temperatures warm up into the 40s for Tuesday, 50s for Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday. We do have a couple of mornings though where we're still going to be down below the freezing mark on Wednesday at 28 and then 30 on Thursday. We'll warm up a little bit on Friday, and then we have cold weather coming in as we head towards Saturday and Sunday. Once again, we'll see lows back into the 20s below the freezing mark. All right, let's check out what the latest conditions are in Odessa and Midland.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Frazier in Midland and Odessa. Let's go ahead and check out those observed snowfall totals from the last couple of days. This is the latest numbers from National Weather Service. Carlsbad, New Mexico got up to 4.3 inches. Snyder in our northeast got 4 inches. Hobbs, New Mexico at 3.8. Midland International Air and Spaceport 3.1 inches, a little bit up from yesterday. Big Spring 2.5. Odessa, mainly southeast Odessa, 2.2 inches. So right on par with what the models have been consistently saying from pretty much the beginning of last week. Overnight tonight, really more so Tuesday morning, yeah, we're still going to be below freezing. Those wind chills, not too bad, but by the afternoon, look at that widespread above freezing temperatures. That's what we want to see. That's what's going to help all of this snow, sleet, ice, slush, everything melt away. That's exactly what we want to see. Sure, our overnight hours are going to be below freezing, but that's very normal for late January into early February, specifically for West Texas, going back possibly into those 50s by Wednesday and maybe even Thursday afternoon. That looks really good. That future track though does have a little bit of that cloud cover starting off Tuesday morning, and with that early morning freezing fog is a possibility too. Most of that should go away by 7 a.m., but we're still going weather impact alert until that time. Beyond that, I'm not looking at any significant cloud cover, precipitation, snowfall. No, nothing too crazy. But we're still going to go now until Tuesday at noon for those impacts because of that morning freezing fog and that lingering snow and ice. So of course, just keep up with the people, pets, pipes, and plants. Once we get past this, okay, we should be good when it comes to our winter weather. But you definitely want to take it easy on the roads because we're going to have that black ice. Drive very slow. Keep those headlights on. We're going to have that freezing fog in the early morning. And if you have anything that, maybe that slush buildup, try to clean your windshield with the sprayer if it's not frozen shut, because, some of those sprayers aren't built for below freezing temperatures. Nonetheless, though, we are going to see a nice little warming trend for the next couple of days. Small little cold front moving in by the weekend. But am I looking at large-scale impacts with that? No, as a matter of fact, the precipitation chances have expired with that. But until then, hey, we're still going impact alert until noon for Tuesday. We go back up into those 50s. That looks pretty nice. Here's that front passing through. Temperatures drop just a little bit, mainly overnight. Yeah, some of those overnight lows still in those 20s, but again, that's pretty normal for us. 50s coming back, maybe some 60s by early next week. I think we all are going to be looking forward to that. But here's what's also going on in Abilene and San Angelo.
I'm meteorologist Ryan Shoptaw with your West Texas forecast, and this is what I call forecast verification. Some wintry weather, some sleet and snowfall across the entire region with some higher totals and a large narrow band of heavy snowfall out near Lubbock and Amarillo in the last 48 hours. Around San Angelo, the Concho Valley, anywhere from 1/10 to 2 inches of accumulated a mixture of sleet and snowfall. Now, what to expect overnight? Drier conditions, but still cold. Wind speeds on the range of 5 to 10 miles per hour. But look at these future temperatures. Expect a widespread hard freeze across the entire area. Tomorrow morning, again, these are air temperatures, not wind chills, the air temperature. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., -2 to 0 in Abilene, San Angelo, 7 to 8 degrees across Tom Green County along the I-10 corridor towards Sonora and Junction, about 15 to 14 degrees Monday morning. Not much recovery despite the sunshine. Monday afternoon, highs 20s and lower 30s. Some areas to our south emerging above freezing, but still a cold afternoon to kick off the new week. Factor in the winds, again, nothing too gusty, 5 to 10 miles per hour. That'll make these air temperatures feel like the teens and single digits in the overnight. So let's talk about the hour-by-hour cloud cover. Most of it disperses and moves out. Monday, mostly clear and sunny, looking nice, but still on the cold side. Tuesday morning, a little bit more cloud cover moves in. Now watch what happens as we fast forward through time. Through Wednesday, this ridge will help kind of recover our temperatures. But it doesn't last very long. Weak boundary moves in by Thursday and Friday. This will help generate more cloud cover and also a slight chance for rain. Right now, it's not looking too impressive, and most of any rain that materializes Thursday, Friday, by the end of the week, it looks like it dives farther south towards deep South Texas. I would say between I-10, the coastal bend, the Rio Grande Valley, but it just depends on the exact movement and strength of this upcoming system. But right now, nothing too impressive in this forecast. Let's talk about the 7-day. First, San Angelo. Tomorrow morning and the next few mornings, we're looking at hard freezes. 6 degrees early Monday, 14 early Tuesday, and not much better Wednesday morning, 17 degrees, which is why we have weather impact alerts for the widespread hard freezes. Remember the 4 Ps, people, pets, plants, and pipes. With hard freezing conditions getting a little bit better by Thursday and Friday, 50s. And there's that small chance for rain Thursday and Friday, 20% at best. And then some slightly cooler air moves in by the latter half of next week. But right now, looking pretty quiet in this forecast. But Abilene, 14 degrees Tuesday morning, and Wednesday early about 16 with a mostly sunny sky through Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll send it down to Corpus Christi for the latest Coastal Bend forecast.
Hey, I'm meteorologist Hope Boland in Corpus Christi, Texas. Now, on Monday, January 26th, we in Corpus Christi had a chance of either tying or breaking a record low set back in 1897. That record low temperature was 23 degrees. Now, after seeing our sunrise temperature and our lowest temperature of the day on Monday, we didn't quite get to it, but we came very close with our low temperature of 24 degrees. So 1 degree off from tying that record low set back in the 1800s. Now, we were freezing for quite a while here in Corpus Christi. We actually reached 32 degrees around 8 p.m. and didn't get up back into that threshold of 32 degrees until 10 a.m. Between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. is when we reached the above freezing point. That's 14 hours of consecutive freezing temperatures. With that, we did see some isolated freezing puddles, any remaining standing water from Saturday's cold front and the rain we saw with that. So just a few places in neighborhoods and potholes where we did see some black ice. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be freezing again. We're warning of a hard freeze with temperatures falling into the 20s. Time frame is 9 p.m. Monday night to 10 a.m. on Tuesday. We also may see wind chills in the 10s. You're going to want to make sure that you are fully dressing appropriately, wearing lots of layers, because again, that forecast wind chill, 15 and 20 degrees at around 6 a.m. when people are heading off to work. Going to be very, very cold, but unlike Monday, that wind chill is going to warm up faster than it did on Monday. Monday. By 12 p.m., we're looking at feels like temperatures only a few degrees off from our air temperature. That air temperature is going to get into the 50s with sunny skies, and we'll see winds that are going to transition from the north. We'll see this high pressure that is over us Tuesday morning, helping to bring in that northerly wind. We'll actually see it move on into the east over Louisiana. And what that's going to do for us is that's going to shift our winds out of the east. That's going to help us warm up a little bit more on Tuesday. So we're expecting temperatures to be in the 50s. But the big thing there is, again, expecting temperatures in the 20s, that hard freeze. Make sure you're protecting your 4 Ps. Thanks for watching. Stay with us in our coverage of the aftermath of the winter storm. As conditions change, we'll have updates on our free streaming app.